breathing fire, building courage and strength to live your truth. I am Laura Fox, and I'm coming to you today with a hard truth, and that is nobody is coming to save you. Contrary to what Hollywood and the entertainment industry would have you believe, there is no knight in shining armor that is going to whisk in and save you and carry you off into the distance. You are the only person who can turn your life around, and you are the only person that can come in and save you and lift you up. You could be surrounded by the most uplifting and inspiring people. Fuck, you could have Tony Robbins on speed dial. But if you've decided that life is hard and that there's nothing you can do about it and it's always going to be that way, then that's the way that it's always going to be. And it doesn't mean that you have to go about making changes and stepping into the life that you want to live on your own. Not at all. But you are the only one that actually can make that decision to create something better for yourself. And I'm speaking into this from experience, from my own personal experience of when I was in my late teens, early 20s, and I was at uni and I was really struggling. I went through a pretty dark time, and there was no one thing that I could put my finger on and say, yeah, that's the thing, that's the reason that I'm struggling. It was just like this really heavy weight, and there were lots of little things, but nothing that sort of would say, oh yeah, that's the reason that I felt sad a lot, or that's the reason that I felt empty inside. There was nothing. And I did the best that I could at that time, and I recognized that I needed to change something, and I didn't really know what it was. So I moved to Australia. I ran away to the other side of the world, and things got a little bit better for a bit. But then my mindset, like I hadn't worked on how I made decisions. I hadn't worked on my perspective and how I looked at the world and how I took in information, or even the responsibility of me and my own actions. And then again, in my mid-20s, I fell back into that space of, like, I was just moving through sludge. Like, every day was just a challenge. And in that time, I a job that I previously really enjoyed, I started to really, really dislike. I started to struggle with the people that I worked with, even though there was nothing wrong with them. Like, looking back now, I can see that it was totally my perspective. And I got really, really sick. I would pass out, and I didn't know why. There was a lot of things going on for me, and I decided to make a change. And I realized that I was the only person that could actually do something. So I went out and I sought inspirational people online, and I studied them. And I was like, right, okay, what are they doing that I'm not doing? What's their perspective? How are they making decisions? How are they living? How are they choosing to see life? How are they creating what it is that they're wanting to do? And in that moment, that was where I claimed my power. And this is something that I've worked with numerous individuals on now, is claiming your power in that choice. Because to look at it as nobody's coming to save you, that could be a devastating thought. That could be that you're isolated and you're alone and there's nothing that you can do about it. And that's it. That's where you are. That could be how you want to look at this. And for some people, that's how they want to look at it. And that's fine. That's their choice. But for me, I found it incredibly empowering to know that I was the person that could make a difference in my life. And that every step that I have taken since I made that choice That's been on me. And yeah, I've had so much support and I've had so much guidance, and I've worked with different coaches along the way, all of who have taught me some amazing tools that I now get to pass on to my clients and I still use regularly myself. But I did it. I'm the one that got to turn my life around. I'm the one that created the change. And that for me feels so good. Like, I get goosebumps when I think about it. And that's where the magic is. And I think that's where, for a lot of people, we don't realize that we actually have that power ourselves. So this isn't about you've got to do it alone, you've got to do it yourself. It's about creating that team and finding a coach that you can work with who's going to keep you accountable, who's going to pick you up when you fall down and keep you on track, and be that hard truth of a mirror to show you the areas that you might need to change your perspective in, and to show you the things that you get to work on and the areas that you get to grow in. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's up to you. And that, for me, that's the best bit, is knowing that it's up to me. And you might not be ready to hear that yet. A lot of people are really attached to being in that victim story, and the world happens to them. And it doesn't matter what they do, but bad things just keep happening to them. And maybe that's true, but maybe there's a lot of gifts in those bad things. I know that you could ask anybody that is out there putting themselves out there and creating the life that they want, and they would tell you that every day comes with its ups and downs. And I know that for a lot of people, I might look like I have a perfect life, and it comes with its ups and downs. I have days where I feel unmotivated. I have days where I don't want to get out of bed. I have days where I question, why am I doing this? And then I remember, because there's something on my heart that is asking more of me. There is something on my heart that is calling me to something bigger than myself. And I allow myself to be a victim for moments and for a short time. And then I pick myself back up and I remember just how amazing I can be when I want to be. And that is a really beautiful feeling that I think everybody gets to experience. And I think everybody can cast their mind back to at least one time in their life where they've done that. One time where they've chosen themselves and surprised themselves and gone, wow, look at what I'm capable of. Look at what I can create. It might be a big thing, it might be a small thing. It could be getting out of bed when you really feel that the world is crushing down on you and you can't do it, and then you do. That could be the thing that you celebrate. The fact that you got out of bed and you said, not today. Today I choose something different. And a great way to start with the changing of your perception and the changing of this mindset is to remind yourself that you are safe, and that when that weight feels too much, connecting back in with your body, connecting back in with your breath and with the earth, and coming back to the present now moment. Because I can guarantee you right now, you are safe. You are physically safe. Because if you weren't, you probably wouldn't be watching this video. And it's just reminding yourself, okay, in this moment, I am safe. The anxiety and the fears and the weight of what could be, that's your mind running away with potential of things that could happen that probably won't. Maybe they will. And if they do, you'll deal with it. But in this moment right now, you are safe. And that's important to remember. And keep coming back to that, because those moments will turn into hours, those hours will turn into days, and the days will turn into weeks. And at some point, that will begin to be your new normal. And at some point, you'll turn around and be like, oh my goodness, look how far I've come. Look at what I've created. And baby steps are still steps forwards. It doesn't matter how fast you're moving or how big your steps are, just keep choosing yourself in every single moment. Because you get to choose you. And if you don't choose yourself, nobody else can. Nobody else can help you if you're not willing to help yourself first. So find that support. Find a coach, a friend, somebody who you can go to in those times when it does feel too much, and who can remind you of just how amazing you are, and allow yourself to receive that. Allow yourself to remember just what you are capable of. And before you know it, you'll have saved yourself. If this is landing for you and this resonates, write a comment, let me know what's coming up for you. Oh, hi Avita, how are you doing? Thank you for watching. I'm glad that you're enjoying this. This hasn't been easy for me to share because I know that it's a difficult topic, and I know that there are a lot of people that are genuinely really struggling. And I want you to know that you don't have to struggle. It doesn't have to be a challenge. There are people out there, including myself, who can support you in this transformation and who can support you in creating the life that you want to live. But you've got to be willing to support yourself, and you've got to be willing to choose yourself. And you can, because you've gotten to this point. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're live or on the replay, if you are struggling and you feel like you need saving and you feel like you're out of your depth, that you're drowning, you've got the weight of the world on you, but you're willing to make a change and you're ready to turn things around and to choose yourself, I want you to reach out to me. Because if you are willing to make a stand for yourself, then I want to stand next to you. I want to celebrate you. And I want to go through this process with you. So thank you. And until next time.